right, we've got to talk a little bit about climate change and the weather and a few other misconceptions. Joining me now, Steve Koonin, formerly chief scientist of Obama's Energy Department, former provost of Caltech, and he's currently teaching at New York University, author of the great book, Unsettled, truly a great book. Steve Koonin, welcome back. There's just so much jibber-jabber blarney going on out there. We had to call you in, as usual, to straighten us out. I want to play a sound from President Biden's speech yesterday and get you to react to it. Take a listen, please.
Climate change is literally an existential threat to our nation and to the world.
All right, so point number one, is it in fact an existential threat? Are we on the verge of apocalypse? You know, like the old flat earth days, there be serpents or whatever it was called. I mean, is this the end of the line, Steve Koonin?
Of course not, Larry. There's nothing in the official assessments of science that says that this is existential. It could be a problem. We need to prepare for that eventuality. But to think that it's going to somehow crash society or the economy is just hype.
What was it? Picking up a number, I don't remember, but it was a good editorial. From the end of the 19th century to now, the climate has warmed by, if I get this right, 1% Celsius. It's like over 100.
So 1.1 degrees Celsius,
1.1 degrees,
which is about 2 degrees Fahrenheit. 2 degrees Fahrenheit.
So I wouldn't say that's the end of the world. And what are the estimates for the next 100 years?
About another 1.4, 1.5 degrees Celsius to the end of the century. And what's important to realize is that over the last century, or since 1900, the population went up 4 times, from 2 billion to 8 billion on the globe. And we've seen the greatest improvement in human welfare ever.
It's such an important point. All right, here comes some more sound from Mr. Biden. Please listen.
We see it here in America, in red states and blue states. Extreme weather events costing $145 billion. Our national security is at stake as well. Extreme weather is already damaging our military installations here in the States, and our economy is at risk.
So, Steve Koonin, one of the things here, all right, extreme weather. It's very hot here in New York. I don't know where you are now, but it's very hot. It's very humid.
I'm near New York.
All right,
yes.
You're in New York. So you know all about this. It's very hot in Britain. Yes. It's very hot in Europe. I get that. But can one mistake, bad weather for long-run climate change problems?
Yes, absolutely. Climate is the 30-year average of weather. And so if you saw 10 or 20 heat waves over the next decade or two, you might say, a shift in climate. But one extreme weather event is not a shift in climate.
Do you see, I mean, is there a 30-year change that's developing here or longer?
Well, certainly the globe on average is warming. Over the last 100 years, it's warmed, as we were talking about. There's some indication that heat waves are increasing slightly over the land over the last 30 years, but there are many other parameters of weather that show no detectable change at all. For example, hurricanes show very little change over the last 50 years.
You know, actually, Bjorn Lomborg was on not so long ago talking about the natural disaster argument. And he showed that the people dying from natural disasters, which is often put into the climate change argument, has plunged in the last 100 years. I mean, that's just... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say we've gotten very good at predicting the tracks of storms, of ensuring resilience against drought and floods over the last 100 years. So, in fact, deaths have plummeted in absolute numbers, not as a fraction of the population. Deaths have gone down by a factor of 100.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a climate denier. I'm not. I'm just saying, I've learned this from you, reading your pieces and talking to you on TV and radio and in the White House, for that matter. It's just, you don't have to get crazed about it. Now, let me ask you the final one. There's a lot of linkage going on between these heat waves. I mean, I guess we're in a heat wave right now in the Northeast. Okay, fine. Heat waves and climate change or existential risk of climate change. What is the connection between heat waves and climate?
Well, heat waves are certainly part of the weather phenomena, but you have to realize that for every heat wave, there's a cold wave. And so if you looked at the temperature map of Europe a couple days ago, yeah, it was really hot over Western Europe. But if you go to Eastern Europe and on into Russia, it's unusually cold. And right now in the Southern Hemisphere, Australia and so on, where it's winter, they're having record-breaking cold temperatures. So the weather is highly variable, and it's very difficult to extract averages that are changing over 30 years.
So we'll bring you back on the show in January when it's 5 degrees out. We're all freezing, and I'll ask you if this is existential climate change.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
I know it goes hot, it gets cold. Look, we can complain about the weather, but what are we going to do about it?
What are we going to do about it, right? And that's the problem, is the U.S. is only a small fraction of the globe, and anything we do directly is very, very little impact on human influence.
Yeah, that's a good point. Steve Koonin, as always, to clarify these things. We appreciate it. Talk soon.